Hello, my name is Michael, and my pronouns are he, him. Today is April 19th at 4:20 in the afternoon. I will be watching the Shang-Chi trailer on YouTube instead of Disney Plus because Disney doesn't have it on their platform yet, and that means it won't have audio descriptions, and I'm assuming it won't have captions. I will be doing a separate audio description track and captions for it to match up with everything else for accessibility reasons. When I was trying to record my own audio description for the trailer, I realized that in certain word combinations, I have a hard time saying Shang-Chi, and so in my head, I've just shortened the title to Simu and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Hey, post-production Michael here. I realized I was mispronouncing Shang-Chi's name the entire video, only after I had recorded everything, so I just want to acknowledge the fact that I was mispronouncing it. Audio description. I will say, I didn't get as much enjoyment out of watching it, with it not having audio descriptions. I'm glad it had captions though. That's why I like using audio descriptions, because it helps me focus on the visuals. There are times when everything happening on screen is very overwhelming, and having the audio descriptions, being able to pull out key elements, is very helpful, especially when it comes to people's expressions. Like in the scene where he's touching the pole, kind of as a memory, I'm like, sad? The audio describers who either write their own descriptions or who receive them from the production company give way better descriptions than I could. At night in an open room, there's a post with a worn dent in it. A young man, Shang-Chi, places his hand solemnly on the post. He punches the dent. But after trying to record my own description for it, I really like it. In his garage bedroom, Shang-Chi does shirtless push-ups.
Hey, what would you suggest to,
Jung whips his shirt off.
get this blaze under control?
Representation Part 1. As an adoptee, I have a different relationship with culture than those natively born into it or those who have parents from that culture. So what it looks and means to be Asian, let alone your born ethnicity, and that feeling of belonging, and while not all Asians look alike, representation of seeing someone who looks similar to you on screen is very important. Various clips show Shang-Chi and Katie spending time together.
And where did that get you?
It's like when you see the few people who do look like you in media, and you keep a list of those actors and actresses and the characters that they play. Cultural connections. Young Shang-Chi punches the post. His father and a person in a decorative mask stand behind him. I thought this was a kabuki mask, but then thinking, no, that can't be right, because Shang-Chi is based more in Chinese culture, so why would they use a Japanese mask? And then looking it up and wondering if it's actually a Peking opera mask. While cultures do share some similarities, I hope it's not just pulling random, easily identifiable Asian aesthetics together to put into the movie. This is post-production Michael again. It's not to say that people from other cultures can't work together, but this was my bias and assumptions of what to expect. When I was doing some research on what the mask was, I stumbled upon an article. I like how producer Jonathan Schwartz and Dustin Daniel Creighton have expressed taking steps to avoid Asian stereotypes with Wenwu's character. And after reading that and kind of seeing the trailer, I had a flash of Wenwu telling Shang-Chi, "Shang-Chi, I am your father," and Shang-Chi saying, "I know."
It's time for you to take your place by my side.
He's trying to make us seem like a perfect father and son. We're not, okay?
Stereotypical fight movie? I don't read a lot of comics, so I don't have a very in-depth knowledge base, and I realize that this is pulling from some of the source material, but it felt kind of like a very stereotypical Asian fighting movie. The figure in the mask leaps out of a helicopter. Shang-Chi fights the person in the decorative mask. In a courtyard at night, young Shang-Chi fights masked figures.
I trained you. You can't outrun
Shang-Chi dodges his sword swipe.
who you really are.
Who are you?
Shang-Chi does a martial arts pose as the bus enters a tunnel. But that also has to do with how American media has portrayed Asians. On the bus, he punches and spin kicks two men in the face. This scene, with the fighting choreography and the music timing, I could watch this on a loop for quite a while, but it would need to be cleaned up a little bit with how the music works. I've only seen a few Asian movies, and by Asian movies, I mean movies that were actually filmed and produced in Asia, like Korean, Taiwanese, Chinese, and a few Thai movies. But this scene in the forest reminds me of some of those fantastical fights, with the leaps and making it look like the fighters are moving on air. Even though I made it sound like a stereotypical Asian fighting movie, I'm actually looking forward to it and seeing how they try to subvert some of those stereotypes and what they do with the characters, because they're trying to make them more in-depth beyond that. Representation Part 2. Hey, post-production Michael back again. Simu did great interviews about what it meant to be Asian hyphen and an advocate for more Asian leads, and I said this before, but representation is super important. I mean, if you think about Black Panther, and even now with these scenes from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Sam's younger nephew holds the shield while his brother throws fake punches. Later, AJ runs his finger along the edges of the silver star in the center of the shield, then smiles up at Sam proudly.
it opens up a world of possibilities for people to see people like themselves doing awesome things. Don't make them feel like this.
My world doesn't matter to America.
Because
my family's well-being is a part of the world.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing it in theaters depending upon where we are with the pandemic. Hopefully the movie theater near me isn't closed down so I can go see it in the theater, or even watching it on Disney+. But regardless, I am going to be watching it with audio descriptions and enjoying it that way. So until next time, see ya!